Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold everything, gold. I'll follow only golden, golden things.
G'day, it's great to have you back at the Shamil Being Veg Patch. While the chickens scratch away in devouring their morning scraps from the kitchen, we're having a look here at the blackberry, which is just coming into flower. Some gorgeous new berries coming through. Won't be long and I'll be devouring these myself. I am a bit ashamed to say I did plant this blackberry and it has gone rampant, of course, but this is going to be rectified because, as you can see, the chicken yard is in disarray and in need of a full renovation, which is coming soon. So be sure not to miss that because it's going to be a beautiful coop that I've got designed, and I cannot wait to share the journey with you all. All of our hens are rescue hens. They all come from factory farms. So they're really at the end of their life according to the factory system. But we take them on and they enjoy the rest of their days here in the Shamil Being Veg Patch. I thought we'd take a little step sideways from the actual areas that you've seen mostly and have a look at some of the orchard plants that we have. So here we have a pear coming into fruit. The majority of our fruit trees are around 2 years old. Gorgeous red mulberry, and the fruit is just divine. And just look, they just got all these beautiful little fruits coming on. Now we'll knock a lot of these fruits off. I'm just kind of getting an idea of where the plants are at. This here is the 3-bay compost system that we have, and it's a fantastic area for managing waste and transforming it into beautiful, gorgeous compost over time. But we're going to work on this area over the next few weeks, and the irrigation line down here will be buried into the ground, that Shanti's standing over. And there'll be a platform that'll be built off of here, which will be about this high, so that these barrels, the weed brew and the putty, can be put up here and sit at a higher point. And what that'll allow is for us to get a watering can in underneath where the taps are. I haven't been filling these up of late because I don't want to, obviously don't want to have to lift them to get them up there. And then just around the corner here, we've got another project coming. So this is going to become a fertilizing hub of the Shamwell Bean Veg Patch. And in this area, we'll be installing a heavy duty cast iron bath. And it'll be going straight into here. And then there'll be some timbers popped around it, and it'll be painted up so it blends in and doesn't look too messy. A lid will be attached to the back of the 3-bay composter, and it'll be angled down to allow the rain to wash off, but also to keep the worms cool. We've got the worm kitchens in the veg temples themselves, and they work a treat, but we're finding we need more worm castings to do more with the garden. But you know, the value of worm castings is you can never have enough. And here's the old bath. This is a heavy duty vintage cast iron bath, so it's going to keep those worms nice and cool. I've had this bath since I was a little girl, way back in the day when I got my first horse, and this was his drinking bath, so it's got some beautiful sentimental value as well. So this is the reason why there's a bath just laying out in the yard. You haven't seen much of this area, but these are the maples that I propagated from a parent plant, and the parent plant died, and then a whole heap of babies sprung up around it. So I carefully dug them out in the depths of winter 2 or 3 years ago, 2 years ago now, I think. And this is what we've got. They're just stunning, absolutely stunning. So this will form a maple grove here. It warms my heart that all of them just came from a parent plant. And here off of the maple grove, we've got a whole heap of irrigation pipe out, because that's what we'll be working on this weekend. I ran the mower over this pipe, and usually it's not a problem, but for whatever reason I cut a hole in the pipe, so I had to do an emergency repair, and I just popped this elbow on because that's what I had in stock. And but all of this is going to be reconfigured. It's going to run down to the back of the composter. And here in Veg Temple 4, we're just going to have a look at the irrigation. This is a new system that I developed, and you might recall that I did have drip irrigation in here at one point. I'll just show you here in Veg Temple 3. So I ran off of this feed line, and then I had this brown drip line, and I installed all of this myself, which has worked okay, but it's become quite unreliable. And you can see there's pockets of soil that are quite dry, and then there's some that are more moist, and it's really having an effect on the growth of the plants. So today we're going to replace this irrigation and switch it over to the new one that I developed. I've tried quite a few different ways of doing it. This here is a 13mm drip line, but it just doesn't emit enough water, and it is just, again, not very reliable. So I won't be running with that system, so that'll eventually be replaced as well. And everything will transition, now that I've trialed all of this, everything will transition to this. It's a real waste. Look at all of this incredible resource that is utterly useless. It's just such a shame that something that took so much work to create has become so unreliable in only a year and a half. I'm looking forward to saying goodbye to my drip irrigation system.
Coffee in a paper cup. The engine starts right up. Clip myself into the middle seat. Daddy liked talk radio. On gravel he would drive real slow. He told me, let's go see what we could see. We pulled into the empty lot before the pavement got too hot. Underneath her leafy crown, the only shade for miles and miles around. With branches low like spiral stairs, we climbed into her maiden hair. You feel like you can really fly up there.
Veg temple for the Roma tomatoes. I popped 2 in here. Are ready to be supported. Don't we all need a little support sometimes? And I'm running short on my smaller trellises that I use for the tomatoes, so I'm going to use a different method here. Now this is a great way to support your tomatoes if you don't have trellises, or if you don't want to have bulky structures to secure or stabilize your tomatoes. And you don't even need a stake as such, but you will need something overhead to be able to tie them to. So what I've got here is just an old piece of wire. I've bent it and tied this soft cotton fabric plant tie to that staple. And then I just gently wrap it round the plant. Now this tie is really gentle. It won't cut the plant as it grows. And you can see I've secured it just above. Now here I'm just removing anything that's touching the ground. You never want to let your tomato plants touch the ground. They will end up with soil-borne diseases from that. So personally, that's how I manage that naturally. And you can see it's just wrapped up gently. And then as the plant grows, I'll just continue to wind it around the plant tie. And all of those pieces that we took off earlier aren't going to go to waste. They'll go into the worm kitchen here, and the worms will love me for it. And I, in return, will love the worm castings. And here we are in Veg Temple 3. And Veg Temple 3 is all about the onion. We ran out of onions last year and had to supplement them with store-bought, which were just a disappointment really. They just don't taste the same. So these are white onions, and they've been enduring life with this very unreliable irrigation system, this commercial drip irrigation. So it is coming out today, and I am very happy about that. Disappointed in the money that I've spent and the time that I've invested, but you know, sometimes things just don't go the way that they're supposed to, and you've got to deal with that. So I redesigned a new system, and here I am building it piece by piece. It's a little bit like a gardener's form of Lego, and I'm just taking those pieces now and connecting them in and pushing the small stakes in to hold the dripper heads in place. So this is a great system because I can adapt it to wherever a plant is growing, and because, as you know, I like to plant a lot of different things in my garden beds. I don't do monocultures very often. So this is a great system for me. Might not suit everybody. Look at that. That's so much better. Looks like I've got some weeds to do as well. Progress, not perfection, Dale. with the system running, you can see it's adjustable, so you can move it from being a drip system right through to a full sprinkler head, depending on what your plant's needs are, which is just fantastic. And you know, if you don't have anything in there, you can just turn it off entirely. So excited about the future for this system. Let's hope that it continues to work. The other great thing is you can strip those heads off and you never have to replace all the other piping, unlike a drip irrigation system. I'm just so happy with that. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Shine on.